There's nothing wrong, of course, with girls wanting to look their best, but that shouldn't be the full story. That's not the whole story.
Ever stop to think about how women are portrayed by popular culture?
Somebody help me.
She was just 3 years old, wrapped up as a gift.
And have you ever considered the effect it might be having on us? Just how exposure to images of skinny, perfect, idealised celebrities and models might be a risk to your health. Now the Women's Forum Australia has produced a report called Faking It, which investigates the harm that commerce, marketing and media can have on girls.
What kind of magazines would you look at?
Girlfriend, Cosmopolitan, Cleo,
Dolly, Girlfriend,
Mary Claire,
Teen Vogue,
Cosmopolitan.
Well, these magazines have huge numbers of readers in Australia, hundreds of thousands alone, and so they have a huge influence over girls' and young women's lives.
Unlike many other academic reports, Faking It's designed to appeal not only to politicians, health experts and academics, but to the young consumers themselves.
Well, we've produced Faking It because we wanted to assess the messaging of popular culture and how certain messages around body image and sexuality were affecting particularly young women who mostly read these magazines. We came up with some quite surprising findings.
The more the composers of the report examined the evidence, the more they recognised links between popular culture and a variety of negative attitudes that young women have toward themselves.
Women's Forum Australia always takes an evidence-based approach to all the issues that we look at. I've gone to the journals and to the peer-reviewed published research to see what is said about it. So you can be assured in Faking It, our publication, that we're not making it up.
These messages make women feel depressed, they affect their self-esteem, they make them perform badly academically, they contribute to eating disorders. These messages also contribute to self-harming behaviours, which are at epidemic proportions in Australia. We know that girls as young as 8 are being admitted to hospital with anorexia nervosa. So we just thought it was time to unpack those messages and expose them for the harm that they're causing young women.
In fact, strolling through the pages of Faking It, one major factor is the increasing trend for unhealthy weight loss among young girls.
One of the really important issues when it comes to magazines is the presence of thin, beautiful women all through these magazines.
Like if you look at a model or whatever, look at her, she's skinny and you want to be like her, so like you starve yourself.
Yeah, like a detox or like a diet or something like that.
Every time I look at Nicole Richie, how skinny she is, like, oh, I want to be like her.
Like, I look at magazines and I see all these bodies and I do feel the pressure to look like this, and models are so skinny. And
yeah, it's not just pictures, it's diets and how to look like this and how...
what to eat, what not to eat.
I was like, I think I want to go on a diet, like on raw fish. It's a type of Samoan type of...
I went to a school that took girls in year 10, and a good quarter of the grade was overweight, and within 5 weeks, maybe 2 girls were overweight, and a lot of people were hospitalised for anorexia and bulimia.
Yeah, most girls our age think they're too fat, and they're really not. Like, I did that too. I thought I was too fat, which I shouldn't have, because I know that I'm not that fat.
Teachers are also starting to recognise this obsession for instantaneous weight loss among their students.
Young children, like young ladies in year 4, year 5, so they're 10, 11 years old, that ask you what diets you're on if you're a slim teacher. They ask you, do you go to the gym, things like this. And even when you show them your lunchbox, which still has unhealthy snacks in it, or if you encourage them that you just go outside and you do some exercise and you have a healthy diet as well as a balanced lifestyle with exercise, and they still think that we have to go on a diet to keep themselves slim, and yet they're tiny children as it is, and they just don't see themselves or portray themselves as healthy, young, good-looking women.
We found that young girls, teenagers and young women tend to feel worse about themselves after looking at pictures like that compared to looking at pictures of other things. Might feel angrier, a bit more anxious about themselves, lower self-esteem.
Yeah, that's probably giving us things like you don't have to be good at this, you don't have to be,
you don't have to be really skinny.
Just as long as you look good. And it's like Paris Hilton saying us, just be skinny and look good, and then like you get the attention.
And then make these brands of really skittish clothes.
Yeah. And they'll get clothes that you don't fit into it and you feel bad about it.
And then
they
you'll
make
start
you want to
crying and getting low self-esteem.
And then it's all the sizes as well.
Yeah.
So,
especially Super 8.
They have like size 000s. I know, and sometimes
you are 000.
But faking it presents evidence that worrying about the way we look or judging ourselves by the way others see us can impair our efforts to be healthier.
Women who see themselves as objects are less likely to exercise, despite the fact that they believe it's really important to be toned and sexy and fit. When they do exercise, they don't get the same benefit that a person normally would from exercise in terms of mental well-being and relaxation because of their motivations for fitness.
You can't help but be a product of our social environment, so the curvaceous girl is not really embraced as much. And they look at people like Scarlett Johansson, who has a nice body but is very curvy, and they don't sort of say that she's got a nice body, they just always point out the fact that she's curvy and is happy.
Are they exercising because they want to be strong, feel confident and capable and get those endorphins happening? Or are they exercising to conform to an idealised norm of the perfect body?
And while we're here, let's rethink the motivations behind Brazilian waxers injecting rat poison into our faces and whether it's really worth it.
I'm conscious that a lot of girls aren't using their true talents. You know, they're more concerned with like, oh my God, am I like hot? Oh my God.
Have you been tempted ever to change the way you are physically?
All the time. That's why we do makeup. Yeah. That's why we got, some magic bra, In an imperfect world, we want perfections. That's what we're doing, what we're trying to do all the time. We want to get skinny, but we still want to do big boobs and stuff and things like that.
Nose.
Eyes.
Yeah. We want to look higher, so we wear the high heels.
When I go out and stuff, how you try so hard
to look good.
You feel the pressure to look good.
To get an ego.
I think that's the strongest influence, like clothes shopping, makeup, hair, everything. Sometimes you feel like you're never good enough.
Faking it is quick to remind us of all the airbrushing and photoshopping that goes on, and that the images that we're trying to live up to are often not even real.
A lot of it is a fake. A lot of the models, the presentation of celebrities, they're airbrushed out of existence. They're actually not real women. So unfortunately, many younger women are aspiring to something that doesn't actually exist.
Well, Brooke is one model who is fed up with not being able to recognise or express herself fully in her profession.
It's completely airbrushed all over my face. They've actually seemed to have cut around my jaw. As you can see, I've got quite a large jaw, and it just doesn't look like me at all.
And faking it shows how such images and products have another sinister effect as well: premature sexualisation.
I worked at an under-18s dance party the other week, and a lot of things, sexual acts were going on in the middle of the dance floor, like not just kissing, I'm talking like other things. It was very confronting because the main age was about 13 to 15-year-olds.
Women's Forum Australia wants to see these issues addressed at many levels. We're particularly concerned about the sexualising of little girls. For example, I've discovered just in the last day or so that there are G-string bathers being marketed for 2-year-olds. There's a peekaboo pole dancing kit that has been marketed to little girls, teaching little girls to be sexual pole dancers. They dance and they can get paid by their friends and family for their sexy dances. We also are concerned about the Bratz dolls and other toys, the Bratz babies, for example, which the manufacturers say know how to flaunt it. These babies know how to flaunt it. What are these babies flaunting exactly? The men's online site, Maxim, says these are babies we won't be throwing in the dumpster, and they talk about how sexy these babies are. So we just think things have gone too far, and we think it needs to be addressed at the Advertising Standards Board level. needs to be addressed by magazine editors because they have great power.
So whether we like it or not, women of all ages, whether we're young, old, we're all affected by popular culture. But Women's Forum Australia are now empowering us with this new knowledge to take it one step further, recognise it for what it is, and affect change.